Yeah, okay, sound. Go for it, buddy. Yeah, go. Okay, so what so-called illnesses or disabilities of the mind, obviously, do you have?
I have a couple. I have a few. I'm diagnosed with depression, so I have clinical depression, anxiety. Recently found out I had autism as well.
Yeah.
Then learning skills, I have ADHD and dyslexia.
Okay, alright, perfect. Can I ask anything about how that affects like your day or some shit? Alright, yeah, so how does that affect your everyday life?
Depression is more like, I've always described it as the ocean. I'd say it's like always there, like you always know the ocean's there, but it doesn't always affect you. Like, it comes in waves, like sometimes I'll wake up and feel like nothing, sometimes I'll wake up and feel like really bad. Really unmotivated, like a lot of unmotivation, and then that kind of just feeds into like a negative circle, and anxiety is like overthinking that, which makes it even a more worse circle.
In terms of like anxiety and stuff, because obviously you have social anxiety, so in terms of like everyday life and how it affects that, so it affects your social life, you'd say?
Yeah, definitely. I don't go out, I'm quite introverted. I like my own space. I think that feeds off my autism though, because I like being in control of my own surroundings. Don't like having things I can't really
Like you
control.
can't escape, really?
Huh?
Like, you know, because you've recently lost your car, but when you had your car you could always escape.
No, it's not really that. It's more like I just want everything that I'm doing to be in my own control. So like, my bedroom is safe. Like, I don't need to overthink everything because it's my own stuff. Like, everything is where I know it is. And the social interaction is just hard because you can't control someone else's emotions or reactions, which is why I don't like it.
Yeah, okay. Alright, does it affect your sleep in any way?
Yeah, definitely.
More than every day, or? As in like during the day, or is it more when you go, like you lie down in your bed?
It's just like really bad sleep patterns. Like, sometimes I'll sleep like only during the day, and then sometimes I'll sleep during the night based off just like one night maybe I'm just like overthinking all night or feeling really bad or like, yeah, it's just very random. I can't really explain it.
Okay, so do you prefer to stay in or go out?
In, obviously.
Is that dependent on anything? Like, is there some occasions where you'd like to go out?
What do you mean go out?
It could be just leaving the house in general.
Oh yeah, I like going out. I like leaving the house sometimes. In my personal experience, out means like going to a club. I hate clubs. I don't like massive places like that.
But then,
I love going to cinema, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Family outings and stuff like that, or you just not really?
I prefer not to because that's just lots of talking.
Yeah,
talking
small talk.
Is, like, I hate small talk.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And I don't do well with like small talk because it involves, well, small talk is just loads of white lies really. So
yeah,
I'm very straight to the point with most of my stuff.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you've already kind of answered this, but in terms of social life, does it affect your social life?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely cut myself off for like a long time. I had to drop out of school, so I think there was one time where I didn't leave the house for like a good 6 months.
Yeah.
At one point, it was just like inside all the time.
Is that because of like, what's the right way of saying this?
It's just unmotivation. It's just not having motivation. The depression just feeds off taking away motivation. And that can be as simple as like even getting up can just be like can be like the smallest thing, like so tiresome. Like when somebody looks at a mountain and thinks, oh, I can't be able to climb that. Like to somebody that's suffering from depression, like that could be like getting out of bed.
Okay,
like,
just
out of
everything.
bed can be as
Yeah.
like tiresome, mentally draining to just do anything, like make breakfast, even going to sleep sometimes and just be like, I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. So if you were to explain like mental health to somebody who didn't really understand it, so like for me for instance, I can't get into your head, but if you're trying to tell someone about mental health in just like a few sentences, maybe, don't put any pressure on yourself, but like in a few sentences, how do you say it?
Sentences.
Yeah, well you can go for as broad as you want, you can go as broad as you want, I don't really mind.
How to describe it? I would describe it as, imagine like living in like the worst environment you could possibly like think of, like Antarctica that's always raining or something like that. They just put that inside your brain, like it's just never.
So it's basically
Happy.
so for someone who isn't or who doesn't have it, it's like there's a few things that make me completely out of my comfort zone. Like if I went to a party and I knew absolutely nobody there, and I just felt really uncomfortable, and I was kind of like keeping to myself and just didn't really want to be there. In a way, it's that kind of, you know what I mean?
It's like that for everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody, it's
So rather
just
than just for one or two things, you feel like that for everything.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, right. How long has it affected you for?
Since I was trying to think what year I would have been in. Year 10, so coming on just after 15.
Okay, so since you've been 15.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I had another question that lined up in my head, but I can't think of what the fuck it was now. Year 10. Fuck. Right, let me just think for a bit. Is this alright? Are these questions are fine? Yeah. You're fucking good at answering these. Loads of people are very...
I've been through like tons of therapy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, loads of people are very narrow about it. As I said, how long it affected you?
Like I said, I think that's because of my autism. My autism doesn't really let me feel any other type of emotion as such.
Okay. So being emotionally like connected to someone, is that
Really hard.
harder? Okay. But
Like-
once then you're in, it's...
Better. Like connecting with dad and mum took ages
Mm.
because of it. Connecting with Chloe took a while. That's my girlfriend. Took a while.
Okay, so what's this one? So does it affect anyone else in your family? So if you...
I think mum has it.
Yeah.
But I think she had a chemical imbalance, which sort of started mine. Mine kind of just progressed. So I'd say it can be genetic, but
Yeah, okay. And do you think by you having it, you see some effects that it has on people? So not necessarily people in your family that have it, but does that make sense? Like, does it affect like dad's everyday life because you have it maybe? And do you see that, or do you not really think of that?
I think underlying they're affected by it, but I don't know, like,
Hard to say.
it's hard to say really. I know mum struggled for a while to come to terms with it. Dad's one of those people that's like, if he can't see it, he doesn't really believe it. So
Yeah.
it took a while to come to terms with it as well. But
Okay. And then, so is mental health linked to upbringing? You say?
definitely, I'd say I'd be better off if I hadn't gone to boarding school, I'd say.
Okay.
I had more support, even though I think definitely helped my education. I think if I was going to bring up my kids, I'd put their mental health above their educational status. Because, yeah, I definitely think if I hadn't gone to boarding school, I probably would have been better off.
Yeah, okay.
If I'd gone to like a state school near me, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though, I never could tell. It
Yeah.
hasn't happened.
Okay, and then I'm just going to try and think of some questions, because the whole thing says within context it's linked to Movember, just 'cause that's kind of around. It's really hard to do one just on mental health, so I'm just doing it on Movember because then I can have background footage. Oh yeah, no, okay, so I was going to ask, what was it? So would you say you were happy when you were younger? Like, did you noticeably, I don't know how to ask that.
So, weirdly I have a thing called emotional memory detachment syndrome or something along those lines, or a weird scientific term for it. So I can't actually fully remember many memories from the age of like 13 backwards, which would be for no reason whatsoever. It's just like your brain tries to forget anything that might have happened.
Do you reckon-
So
is
I
that-
think, from what I can remember from my past, I think I was definitely happier when I was younger.
Yeah.
But
Is that just because you're a kid and everything's just almost better when you're a kid?
Probably,
less to
yeah.
worry about. Yeah, okay.
less responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, and I'm just going to think of some. Do you have any questions that I could ask you about, you reckon, for Movember? Have you, like, ever even thought of Movember in any way, or do you just not really care too much about it?
I've never seen any help actually come from November.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody personally that's been helped from funds from it. Like, I know people that did do it. Like, even this, I know, like, a load of my friends were, like, into it. Like, one of my friends dyed his hair for it, etc., etc. So, but
but you personally, it hasn't affected your.
Well, I mean, I grew a mustache for it.
Okay.
That's just so like people, if they look at it, they're like, okay, that just reminds me of mental health. But I don't think the funds from it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like 50-50 on it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. That's all. Shit, it's heavyweight.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it.